welcome to The Melancholy Guy, a companion podcast to my Tumblr blog, The Melancholy Guy, daring to be black, open, and free. The adventures of a divorced, open, polyamorous African American male. I am The Melancholy Guy, Calvin, or CPJR if you know me. And today, I definitely believe that change I must or die I will. Hey, welcome to The Melancholy Guy, my podcast. So, welcome back, my weekly podcast. So, basically, this podcast is like I said, a companion guide to my Tumblr blog, which can be found at melancholyguy.tumblr.com. And basically, the Tumblr is something that I wrote, blogged in, made entries to while I was making the transition from living a what traditionally monogamous life to a polyamorous life. So that went in stages, and I've been talking about it for a few months now. This is actually episode 30. I talked about the various stages and the various reasons why I went through some of the different forms of non-monogamy and what it actually took to go through those. So right now, we've been talking about swinging over the last month or so. Seems like forever. And I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna wrap this part of the story up pretty soon, probably this week and next week. That'll be the end of it. I think this week is going to be about swinging, finding your tribe. I think I talked about swinging, building your community. That was talking about you attracting others through your validations and certifications, and having good reputation. With a good reputation, your good name out in the community, because as your reputation spreads, you'll get more invitations and stuff like that. In this podcast, I'm going to talk about how you go about building your tribe or finding your tribe. You could do that through various methods. Well, first of all, one way you could do it is just by going out. Let's just say, I'm moving ahead. Sorry. So the podcast is broken up into 3 sections: past, blog, present, life, future, recovery, where I talk about my recovery and living a life of non-active addiction. That is the future part. I'm also talking about the future of podcasting, my business plans, and things like that. So right now we're going to go into past blog, and what I'm going to do right now is, because we're talking about swinging, finding your tribe, I'm just going to read one entry. I didn't really blog a lot during this part of our journey. When I say our, I mean me and my ex-wife, because I don't know, I just didn't write. I think I was busy. This was about summertime. I think I made one little short, quick entry, and I'm going to read it now. It's party night. This was written June 2012, and it's real short. I just wrote, there will be drinking, spades, and various sexy, naked people. Playtime shall ensue. Can't wait. So, obviously, I can't remember as normal. I can't remember what I was writing about. It was June, so it's definitely swinging. There's definitely partying, and there's definitely spades. One thing I like to do in the summertime is hit some cookouts, play some spades, do some kayaking too. A lot of hiking, spades, partying, that kind of thing. That's definitely what I like to do with friends and family. But back then, it was also mixed in with swinging. So that's, I'm not sure where we were going. I think I have an idea. I think we were going to a party up in Baltimore with our first couple. I think that my first couple I told you was Lydia and someone. The first couple we actually swung with. I always call them our couple. But I think yeah, they had invited us up to their house for to celebrate his birthday with their family. So we were actually I think I talked about this already if you listen to previous episodes. But we were actually yeah going up there to just we didn't know exactly why we were just like are we going to just have a be there for the party? Is it going to be playing afterwards? It was never discussed. I think we just stayed. I think there was another couple there too, but they left early. They weren't going. They weren't going to be part of that. So it was just us two, and we just stayed. I don't know. We didn't leave. I think. No. Wait a minute. I remember we did try to leave. She said. She's like, no, no, no. Y'all stay. Don't go. So then I think at that point we figured it out that the intention was for some play after everyone left, which is what we did. It was a nice night. So that was probably that night. So why I wanted to read that is because I just want to talk about like the journey of how we moved through the swinging lifestyle. We first started out, like I said, going to just putting up sites and meeting people, going out on what we call meet and greets at the time, and just trying out different things. We didn't have like I remember we talked about. I showed you our agreement. I read our agreement. That agreement was written after our first. We were supposed to be a soft swap couple, but after that first time that was done, we were okay. So that agreement was there in place, but we didn't actually go back and review it or try to address it in any other way because I don't know, we just didn't need it. We just didn't need it. We just didn't need to have to keep going back and forth to an agreement because we were good. We were able to talk about things, and I think that was a great introduction for me. I'm still in living non-monogamously, polyamorously, because at this point now I just don't live a life with too many rules. I don't have to like I said right now. I think I've talked about last week. I am seeing someone now, trying to working that out where we are, but I don't have these rules. I don't have to know where you are. I don't have to know who you're with. I don't have to know anything other than you're sticking to any boundaries that I have that I've talked about. Rules, I don't care. I don't have to tell me about who you're with, what you're doing. I don't want to know if you're having sex. I'm assuming that you are. Just to make sure it's safe, and if it's not safe, you tell me. That's it. I don't need to know. If you want to tell me, that's great. I would love to share in everything that you would like to share with me, but I don't have to hear it. I don't. It's not a requirement that you, a grown person, have to tell me what you're doing in your other relationships. Those are your relationships. It's your privacy. It's your life. It's your process. You can share and include me in it as much as you would like, but other than that, I don't have to. I don't have to know. And I expect the same. Actually expect the same thing. I don't need to know. I don't. I expect the same thing. I don't. I don't. I can't be required or to tell you everything. I'm not gonna abide them. I don't know. I call this conscious grown folks policy. What I'm saying now, it's like when you get to that point, and I think I had a discussion because I think I posted this on Facebook, and it's also on the blog. It's a little small post, and I think the young lady that I'm seeing now, she actually came back and said, "What's that about?" Because I think she was concerned about what I stated because I'm saying that I don't do rules. You don't have to tell me anything. So she was concerned about that I wasn't going to tell her anything because she wants to hear about it and share. I'm like, that's fine. I'm going to tell you. That's the thing, right? I'm very polyamorous. I'm very polyamorous. I'm going to tell you everything because I believe in open and honest, transparent conversation. And communication. And I'm going to tell you everything. I just don't want to be required to tell me. And I don't I don't want it to be an expectation. I don't want it to be a disappointment when if you don't hear about something. The rule. This is one of the craziest rules to me is when people state that you have to tell me before you had sex, and we actually toyed around with this one. When we opened up about, but it's like how if I assume that we're all sex positive, and I assume that you're on a date. I'm gonna not require that you stop what you're doing and call me. I'm gonna assume that you know what you're doing. I know when we had sex, so I know that you know, I know if the partner that I'm talking about, I already know their proclivity to having sex on the first date or whatever date or whatever night or what activity they're doing. I already know. I already accept that too. That's the point. I accept that you're probably going to be going out doing some screwing. It's okay. Just, like I said, don't cross a boundary. Or if you do, let me know. We can talk about it. That's it. So I think that played a lot into my beginning or how it worked out with my ex-wife on, how I am now as far as, communication rules, boundaries, all that kind of stuff. Because it just worked for us. We didn't have to worry about that. I forgot what I was talking about. So I think, yeah, we went out with the first couple and that's what happened. I think, so yeah, okay. I don't know how I got off there. I was off on a tangent and I don't know how I got there. But anyway, so we went through, we went out. So yeah, we went out. We were going out trying out different things. Okay, so I was talking about moving through swinging. So we were trying out different things, seeing what worked for us. A lot of things didn't work for us. Then we decided to, we've decided to try out groups, to get into groups. Because I think for me, I was noticing that I didn't like the randomness. I figured out pretty early on, pretty quickly, that you basically had to always, a lot of people were definitely always interested in meeting new people, right? Because it's all about sex. You want to keep it fresh. So you're flipping people. You're going out every weekend. You're trying to just meet as many people, have as many experiences as possible. Because that's what they wanted. They were into it for the sex. I always call it sport fucking. But me, I was in it for the relationships. And I noticed early on that that part was missing, right? Because you're just meeting a bunch of people, some you're having sex with, some you're not going to see again. So, we decided to try out groups. Now, there's two ways that you actually get in touch with these groups, right? One way is they contact you, and that's what happened. I'm going to share some of the groups. So that's what happened with on a couple we met, or I think I talked about them before. But a group we met, we were invited to a party out here in Fort Washington. We were invited to a party. And I believe I did talk about this before. So it was like the couple, they were a swing couple, not married, had a house out in Fort Washington, his house. They had a party, football party, food. So it was with three couples, a single male, single female. And it was a nice night. We had a good time. So it was nice to meet them. I think that there was only one problem with the couple. I think he wasn't well endowed, so my ex wasn't too keen on continuing that relationship. But it was, and I don't think we ever met with them again because I think the next time we tried to meet with them, I think they tried to booty call us. It's like the time kept slipping back later and later, and I'm like, and I just had to call. I made a call. I'm like, if you don't like the dude, why are we? I think because we kept going back and forth. We were getting an invitation because we liked her. So we were getting invitations to go out with them. But then she didn't like the guy. So why are we going out with them? Why are you agreeing to go out with them if you don't like the guy. It was ridiculous to me. So I think I made the call and just ended that. So, but that would have been an interesting group to be with because they basically had parties at his house, met for dinner, going out, hanging out. It would have been a good group if it could have worked out. Physically, they were right in our age range, a little bit older, I think. Um, um, they were they were financially well off and things like that. I mean, we could have had a good time. We could have turned it into traveling, but like I said, it didn't match up because of the physical. So then we turned our sights on the websites. So basically, I told you about before. There's two websites that we were the two main websites that we used. There's many more. One was called Black Swingers Club, and one was the Swing Lifestyle .com, and I got them up right here. And the thing about so I'm not sure. I've been taking a look at the because our profile is still up on both of those, and we have lifetime membership on one, and I'm just noticing that on the Black Swingers Club, it doesn't have that much going on. And so they don't have a groups from the Black Swingers Club. They have events. So people will host events, and there used to be a lot of them, really big events of things that were going on, different events, parties, stuff like that. And I think we did attend some, but then that was it. So you got your invitations. People would have events and parties and invite you to them, and then on Swing Lifestyle Lounge, the other site, they actually is a much more robust site. So they have, I'm on this site now. They have groups, they have trips, they have events, they have clubs. So on that site, we went to the groups, typed in like Maryland, pulled up all the groups. So it's interesting. I'll read some of the group names. I just did it just now. Some of the groups names are like BBWs of Maryland, Central Maryland by Hookup, Central Maryland Meet and Greet, East Coast Sturgis, Little Orleans, Maryland. I don't understand that one. Friction, Maryland, hot parties for hot people in Maryland, Virginia, and DC. We're one of the original first hotel parties. So it's like hotel parties in Maryland. So basically you went down this list, found the groups, you have to apply for them and get approved, and then go through their process of meeting. So that's what we did. We found the group that met in Baltimore. They were out of Baltimore, and they had a meet and greet night up at Taboo, which is a swingers club in this area, one of them. But it's also like the biggest one. There's also the Crucible, which is a dungeon / they have lifestyle nights in that one. So I think I talked about Taboo before, but it was so that was our first time going up there. So I think we made a whole weekend out of it. We actually been to Baltimore a few times, I think, because that's where I actually proposed to my ex-wife on a weekend. We spent up there in the Inner Harbor. And so basically we went up there to the Inner Harbor. I think we were trying to get, I was talking about the single lady we were seeing last week, Shamika. I was trying to get her to come, but she was busy. But we had a nice time. So we went to the Swingers Club because this group, I can't remember the name of the group, but they were having their, mixer or, meet and greet for all newcomers. So you would go there, and we did, and they had the section. So if you've never been to a swingers club, it's interesting because it's like upstairs is cool. It's like a club, right? Nice club. The bar area, you bring your own liquor. They can't sell liquor where there's sex. Oh, I want to talk about this site. Remember they passed that sex trafficking bill and they closed down Backpage because of the ads, and I think Craigslist closed down their whole personal section. Yeah, they did. It's also affecting the site. It's like they have to put more things behind the paywall because all these sites are afraid of getting shut down. If they deem that you're have anything to do with escorting or sex work or anything like that, they'll shut you down. Of course, these aren't sex work sites or sites for sex workers, but I remember Dan Savage discussing the ramifications of this law, and like Craigslist didn't have to shut down their personals, but they like, you know what, we don't want any problem. I think the other site, Backpage, they were involved in sex trafficking, so they got arrested. But a lot of other sites have said if you're dealing with sex, you have to be careful because they'll find a reason to persecute you or prosecute you and shut you down. So I noticed I hit a thing and it said because of the law, there you won't be able to view as many pictures, so it's best to pay. So it's best to pay anyway if you're going to be active in the lifestyle. So basically, yeah, we were up there meeting this. We went to so we took so the trip was twofold: meet the crew, meet this new group, see if we vibe with them, which we did, and also join Taboo. Go to our first swingers club and see what that was like. And I said, when you go to the swingers club, it's like cool. It's like a club. It's like dancing, and they also, and if you're a first time visitor or a first time member, it's your first visit. They take you on a tour. So we went to downstairs is where all the action is. There's different rooms you can use a room if it's open. And then they had the open area. I don't know if the orgy room or just the open area for play, and that's when I should have known I wasn't a real swinger, because that room, people were doing their thing all over the place, and it just wasn't appealing to me. You know what I mean? Like, I knew right away that this wouldn't be a place that I would be able to get down in, or it just didn't appeal to me. Like, I don't know, if we met somebody, went to a private room, like we've done that before at parties, so that was cool. But actually just being in this room with people and possibly strangers, and the light was on. I think they have theme nights. They have a blackout night. I know that the whole club is just black and you just can be upstairs, and then the upstairs turns into play area 2. But upstairs they had little lounge areas. So yeah, if they did that, that would be probably more interesting. But definitely want to go with the group. So we didn't plan to play that night. We were just there to meet. And so they brought, the group, had their area cordoned off, or it was their area with they had the chairs and lounging. So it's like a VIP section. And they brought food, to eat and all that kind of stuff. And so it was cool. We met the people, and they seemed very cool, a little younger than we were. And then we met Sarah Dara again. I don't know, I've told you about her if you've listened to this to any previous shows. I've talked about Sarah Dara. So this was our second time meeting her. We met her at that. So we met this young lady at a New Year's Eve party that we had attended. And then we met her at this club. She actually lived in Baltimore. I don't know if I knew that at the time. So at this time when we met, we talked, and this time we exchanged information. So, and she was part of this group also. So, it was, we were getting bonded. We were meeting. I think we all went out and danced on the floor together. So we hung out, all three of us, my ex and Sarah. Did a little dance, a little mingling, a little drinking, a little talking, a little sitting on the couch together. But I think Sarah went downstairs to play. I think she changed out, because they have lockers there too. You can actually change your clothes. And we had one weird incident. I think that, we were just looking around the club. So the club's mixed. Mostly, I don't know. I can't tell. I can't remember what the mix was, but it was a mixed club. The group that we were joining or there to check out, they were black. But, so I think we were looking around talking. I think we pointed. I think a white couple thought we had, trying to get their attention, and they came over, and my ex-wife had she had a rule, and we actually did try, she didn't want to mix and mingle with the white people or Caucasians, and I'm like, that was, me, I'm cool. Her, I don't, that was her thing. She'd never done it before. And she didn't want to try it out. And so they came over and I had to like come up with something quick, like, oh, we didn't. Blah, blah, blah. So anyway, it was kind of stupid, kind of embarrassing, but we got out of that. So anyway, so we met them and they were cool. I think we left, and that was it. And I think after we left, we seen them, some people in the parking lot, and they were going to a hotel party, and they come with us. I'm like, no, we're going home. It's late, and we don't play like that. So I think we went home. I think we bought some tickets for a comedy show from one of the people there, and we went to that comedy show the next night. And I think it was a bringer show, like for the common comedians to get on stage have to sell tickets. So anyway, that was cool. So we met people. We went out that night. So they had some events planned. We went to some of their events. They had like a party. I think it was a birthday party it was run by the group was led by a couple. And what we found out is that most of the events they hosted were paid events. That was a turnoff. So I think we went to one of their party at their house. They had a party there. And I think the entrance fee was like a bottle of premium liquor. He liked tequila, so 1800 tequila, like a fifth. So brought that in. We did the party, chill. I think we bought like one bottle for him, one bottle for us, a bottle of Moscato. So we went to the party, and then we got to the party a few weeks later, or the following month. There was Sarah there again, so we met her again. So that really bonded us to this group. So the group was that party was kind of strange because they had this real rule. It really wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a play party. It was more of a party for him. But they built it as a play party because it was advertised in their group. But open play wasn't actually encouraged. They had talked about some rooms they had up there, and I think after this night we had an argument. Something happened, so that kind of gave me some bad feelings about this fight. We actually had an argument because it was just weird. It's a weird vibe, and it kind of threw us off. With no play, and I think that it's like, why do we come? Because we had come back to Baltimore. This was a separate weekend, different weekend, so we had to come back up to Baltimore for that, and it was just not a good time. It was a good time being there, seeing Sarah there again, but the whole thing about, I think because they knew each other, and they just didn't have anything planned out to encourage everyone else to mix and mingle and play. So it wasn't cool. So then they had another one night. They actually had another party at another big house. I think there was like a huge tent out back. People were outside smoking hookah, weed. Inside was drinking, DJ. Upstairs they had rooms. I think they had a massage. Everything was going on. They had a fight party downstairs. The MMC. I think it was what was it, USF or something like that? Ultimate UFC. The UFC had the big fight on that downstairs. So there's a lot going on. We split up. We had our good time, and guess who was there? Sarah Dara. And this is the first time that we actually got a chance to go upstairs and play. We actually took Sarah Dara upstairs and played. I think, but this is the last time with that group because we probably came to the conclusion that it wasn't for us. This wasn't going to be our tribe because of the fees. You have to always pay. So we seen that it was actually for them to make money, right? Most of the people there weren't swingers. There really wasn't much swinging going on upstairs. But everybody was just like, doing everything else. Like the big outside the big tents, they had like areas that people were gathered around smoking weed or smoking hookah. Inside, people were like gathered around the kitchen eating and talking and stuff like that. And we had actually met people from the other party that was at this party, so we were meeting people and making connections, but we never really connected to the group. This wasn't our tribe at all. So. And then it was some weird thing, I think. It was just not cool. We just didn't vibe with them. So I think that was the last time. But of course we got to play with Sarah there, and that connection was made. So we were, so me and her were talking more and more. Sarah wasn't bi, so it was just me. So it was interesting, us three playing together, two straight women, but we had fun. I always have fun. Yeah, it was interesting. It was interesting. I think like my ex-wife had like a cockhole fetish thing. Like she always said she wanted to see me with another woman, so this was a chance for that. But I think that had already happened, but with her. So yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about the next attempt. We had one more attempt at finding tribe, right? So what happened was we had actually met another couple somewhere. I can't remember exactly where we met them at. I think it was either at some party or on Black Swingers Club. We actually, so at this point we knew a lot of people. So right before, so the next week I'm going to talk about dating couples. So right before, and then it's going to be, then I'm going to go into spirituality. So, but right before we actually started doing the groups, we knew a lot of couples. We had just started making dates. We had like dates every weekend with different people, and we had the rule. So we would just go for a couple drinks, talk. We'll see you later. So people were disappearing, coming back. It was just a busy time of, just swirling around, but no real connections. It's just always, people would disappear for a while and come back. No real connections, no real communication other than when can we hook up, right? So then we had met this one couple, and I think we had went out with them one time, we went with them one time. We met at a bar up there somewhere in Laurel, Maryland, I think, or someplace up there where we live. I think they lived in Columbia, Baltimore, or something like that. And they were cool. They were pretty much just like us, just like an average run-of-the-mill couple. We never played with them, as a matter of fact, because we just went out on a straight date. Went to the bar, drinks, talked, and that was it. And I think we went someplace else, got a bite to eat, and that was it, man. And then I think as it evolved, they told us they had a group already, a group of 5 couples. And then so they wanted to bring us into their group, which we agreed to do. And we met the other people. I think we went to I think he was a, what's that thing called? With the Masons? So yeah, he was doing a Masons or something like that, but he was selling tickets. So we all went to that thing. We all went to like his, I don't know, his uncle, brothers, some type of anniversary reception, something like that. I think it was a birthday party, but it was big in a hotel up in Baltimore. I think we went to that. And then we went to a bull roast up in Baltimore for the Masons. They bought tickets for that. So we basically were just going out with them to different events, but no swinging was involved. And they started like a group chat. The group chat to me was shallow. I could tell they were swingers. So I was moving more and more into polyamory, right? So I'm still listening to on my podcast. I'm trying to figure out this polyamory thing, this ethical non-monogamy thing, and what, how I fit into all this. And being in their group chat all the time, it was just like, okay, this is boring as shit. Because all they're talking about is, making like, oh, I can't wait to see your butt or your ass or some joke, or like off-color jokes all day. So I'm not really talking about anything. And I could tell also that they only played together. There was no hooking up outside of the group. I think the ladies all went out to breakfast one time with the whole group. So, but I could tell that my ex-wife, she wasn't really into them at all either. So we went out with them a couple more times, but it never really caught on. And then we found out that the main reason that they were in the swinging, the original couple, was because he was a cheater and his ex-wife was saying that if she could get him into, swing lifestyle, that he would stop cheating, all this kind of stuff. So it just got to be ridiculous. So, I mean, like, that's swinging, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm conscious or spiritual or anything like that, but or like woke and shit like that. But I try to be the best person that I can. Probably too much so because I hurt a lot, and I feel empathy, pain, and I hold stuff in too much, without having to release. And but this was just such a shallow surface level type thing. They weren't actually trying to change. It was like they were fine with what they were doing. But I could also see that swinging was about the couple. It wasn't about love or meeting other people. It's about something that the couple does together, which is fine. I like that concept. But it wasn't something because we weren't on that level. But it was fun for us to do it together. But it wasn't for us to stay together or enjoy or anything like that. This is something that we were just trying to discover. So, did we find our tribe? No. But this is how you would find your tribe. You have to, first of all, there's already established groups out there. The three examples that I gave you were the three groups that tried to get us, that we actually did get into. There's more. Like I read that list off to you. There's many other groups. You have to try the groups and go out to their events and see what works, see what pops. So, but this also showed me that this was going to end. We were really getting spiritually bankrupt and empty. And I'm going to have a show on swinging and spirituality. I'm going to have my first guest in a few weeks. With that show, a spiritual person, someone actually an ordained minister, who's in the polyamory, Episcopal ordained. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting conversation, because I'm gonna tell you about how I went about seeking spirituality, and that's what brought me into Facebook. Seeking spirituality because I felt empty. That's just like this sex for sex sake, and it was just definitely this. And at the end of it, it definitely caused a wedge between, but it showed cracks between me and my ex-wife. But it showed cracks. It shows that we were growing apart. That I was really finding out who I was, and I guess she was also finding out who I was, and she didn't like who I was anymore. So is it important to find your tribe in swinging? Nah. But I know some groups and podcasts, like if you're just in a Life on the Swing set, I consider them to be a tribe, because they do the podcast together, they travel together, and I think they try to hook up together. They do the yearly SS Desire down to, I think it's Cancun, to Desire Resort. They take over, Swingers Weekend takeover every year. So to me, that seems like a tribe. So it's like, I think unless you're like one of the type of swingers that, always wants, always want something new, you need diversity, you need new things, then you could just keep hooking up and have fun like that and keep searching out, new partners. But if you find yourself wanting to, actually have the same partner and grow that relationship a little bit, you might want to find your tribe and go through these steps of letting people reach out to you. You also can form your own tribe too. You can set up a group on, like I said, you can set up a group on swinglifestyle.com, and you can invite people to your groups. We were actually thinking about that also. If we were actually looking at buying a house and thinking about that too, it would have been me. I mean, this was all my thinking at the time. More and more I know, and I'm gonna have an entry about that. It was turned into my thing, not our thing. More and more as we went along. So I'm gonna wrap it up, leave it right there. I think finding a tribe is the way to go. Because I think you can build some good relationships and definitely, make a tight circle. There's no reason why the tribe couldn't let new people in and do new adventures and have some more people come in to keep things diversify, keep things different and fresh. But for me, I like the idea of traveling with people, playing in Jamaica. Many times we went to Jamaica twice. I tell you, man, it's just, I think about it. Having a crew down in Jamaica that you all could play with, you know what I'm saying? Heck, like go out and switch. Oh my God. Switch rooms, switch nights, hit those hot tubs with different people. You know what I mean? Like that would be the awesome, man. Because you're on the resort, there's like the disco and all that kind of stuff. Oh man, you just think about the possibilities of going out with a sexy crew of 5 couples for a week. The possibilities of combinations are endless, and I got a big smile on my face right now. If you watch the video, you'll see it. It'll be awesome. So anyway, I want to wrap that up there. Find your tribe, get your groove on. I think it's the way to go. We didn't have luck with it, but but it was part of our journey, getting us to where we were going to be ultimately divorced. Anyway, so let's go into present. I want to add something to the present. I want to add on like the state of polyamory on social media, because I see posts. I used to be in a lot of groups, and I'm not in them anymore. I have one group that I'm trying to grow, but I don't know if I'm going to grow it. It's actually if you go to the Melancholy Guy on Facebook, you'll see a link to the group. I think it's called Polycules something. But basically, the group is about. I wanted to, what I'm calling it more and more, I'm calling it grown folks poly or conscious poly, maybe. But I think it's like a need for, it's cool. Newbies are cool. It's called Polycules, Tribes, and something else. It's coming up now. Polycubes, Tribes, and Community. I mean, it's cool having, new people come in, but it comes to a point, new people or curious people coming into the groups and stuff like that. But you keep hearing the same thing, same questions. And I'm like, I had these questions answered for myself, man. There's books, like I always say, there's books, there's podcasts. Do your research, man. And find out, don't try this because somebody, no, I shouldn't say that. I was going to say don't try this if somebody invites you into this, but actually, yeah, if somebody invites you in it, you should try it if you want to. But do your research first. Try to come up with your story. Eventually, I want to turn this podcast into origin stories. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. I got a ways to go with my own story. But I'm going to have guests and people are going to talk. I'm going to invite people to talk about their origin, how they got into non-monogamy. So what were some of the challenges and the hurdles? And especially if you're opening up a marriage, one thing I used to always say in the groups is that would be one of the hardest things you ever have to do is open up a marriage. If you got married and you were monogamous, then all of a sudden you're going to be non-monogamous. It's a hard lift. A lot of people make it. A lot of people are messy. A lot of people are still messy. But it's a hard lift. It's one of the hardest things you'll ever do. So, I used to post a lot and comment a lot in the groups. Some people like this, some people didn't. But I don't, should I say I don't miss it. So what's happening now though is on Facebook. Some people have their real names. Some people have their real name-ish. Put it like that. You're supposed to use real names on Facebook. So they use their, they have 2 accounts. So they use different names. Anyway, because everybody isn't open. I live openly, but I don't know if that's costing me with the job hunt or what. So yeah, I live openly. So people post out questions out in the open now instead of being in the group. And it's funny, like some of the groups, some people will take the groups posted out, the questions posted out in the open and post them into the group. It's interesting, which I see. And they're like, oh my God, there was a great rant on the whole unicorn thing. I don't know. I want to see if I can play it on the show one day, or I want to have her on the show. She was just on Her name's Avita, and she was just on the Inner Whole Uprising, which will be up next week. My favorite podcast. Catch that show. She'll be talking about her triads and her story is interesting because she's very out about it and very vocal about it. She posts videos. She just started a YouTube channel, but I'll reference her more. Her name is Avita, like I said, on Facebook. Anyway, so I'm not gonna say the name of the person that posted this question, but it's always interesting to me to see how we, the polyamorous community, answer these questions. So the question was, I think I have it. I thought I had it. I think I just lost my question. Okay, so the question, while I try to find it, I had it right here, and I moved it. Okay, so the question was, if you're I don't know, it's coming up now. Sorry. Technology. I should have had it queued up, which I did, but I went back to find out the name of my group. I wish I had my tablet. Okay. So the question was, if you're in a mono relationship and you flirt with poly folk, isn't it cheating if you can't tell your partner about it? So basically, if you're in a closed monogamous relationship, traditional, not a conscious monogamous relationship, you didn't enter into it consciously, make decisions as to what it will look like. If you flirt, is that cheating? To me, so it was interesting. So most of the poly people answered it. Nope. Yep. Nope. You know, not unless they identify as poly, but they're monogamous. You can be poly in a mono relationship. Yes, that wasn't part of the question. So a lot of people answered yes, and a lot of people that I thought were kind of up on their poly game said yep or nope. It's not cheating because they don't see flirting as cheating. But I think that most monogamous people would say flirting is cheating. And here was my response. After I watched it for a while, I said most people that are in ethical non-monogamy and polyamory are usually all about honesty, transparency, and open communication. I think that most of us in this community don't have a problem with flirting with others in our community. It's usually part of our partnered agreements that flirting or communications of any kind is fine outside of our relationship. So I said, can we just assume that people outside of our community have the same types of agreements and understandings in place? Most of them don't, because they don't consciously enter into their monogamous relationships, right? They don't make decisions as to is flirting allowed or not, right? It's just assumed most of the time that flirting isn't allowed. Flirting or anything outside of the relationship that can lead to cheating or any type of infidelity isn't allowed. And flirting can lead to infidelity. To me, it already is infidelity, right? No, it's not. I'm sorry, that's not what I mean. But it can lead to infidelity. You know, somebody flirts at me and shows me interest, a beautiful young lady. My mind's gonna churn on that. I'm like, can I get with that? You know, and that's not innocent. So really, it's impossible to know if it's cheating or not. I'm saying I don't know. I don't know how monogamy works anymore. I don't know the agreements. I mean, I know how it works, but I don't know what the agreement is between every couple. And I know it's not. I know most couples didn't consciously go into their relationship. Great book, Designing Relationships. Read it. They don't actually go into. They never discussed if flirting was okay, if it's cheating or not. They didn't. It's just. I think it's just a given that it is, right? So me as a poly person, I know that. So why would I entertain flirting? I keep a wide berth from monogamous people for this reason, in a relationship or not. I just don't even deal with them because I know they don't have the words to express or talk about their agreements. Their agreements are just, we're monogamous. We don't mess with other people. We don't have sex with other people. And then they go out from there about emotional intimacy and physical intimacy and all this kind of stuff. But it's all no. My eyes are for one person only. My lips are for one person only. My body's for one person only. So why would I even, me as a polyamorous, ethical, non-monogamous person, I don't even go into that. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't do cheating. So, it's just interesting that was up for debate. That it wasn't automatically, yep, down the line. But it was a debate as to, if some people thought I was cheating, some people didn't think it was cheating. So that's why I'm always talking about grown folks poly now, because everybody's on the journey, right? Everyone's not quite there yet, in my opinion. So anyway, so life right now is, I'm going to talk about this for a few minutes and wrap this up. Been on here for 51 minutes, long show. So life right now is I'm still on the hunt for a job. I have interviews lined up for next week. I'm waiting on another response. I didn't get a couple jobs. I actually went on a second interview. So I didn't, it was one job with Yelp, one job with a law office, and one job, it's three actually. Well, Yelp I think was up to some bullshit because I had put a negative comment up there, and then that's when I got the interview response. And then after I didn't get past the second interview round, or the first interview round with the hiring manager, I got a response back from the negative comment, and they pulled it down. It was weird. So anyway, there was a Mac office too. I don't like Macs. Anyway, so basically there was two jobs that I didn't get, that I had an actual interview with the hiring managers, and the right job is there. So I'm still in the process, still looking. Interviews next week already scheduled. One at George Mason, and then one at a hotel for executive support manager. I don't think I'm going to go for that one because I don't think I'm qualified. It's weird. Anyway, so yeah, if you got somebody looking for an IT guy, systems administration and support, Windows, I'm the guy. So let me know if you hear something. So that's going good. Like I said, I am seeing someone. She's cool. Someone that I knew from the past, that I'm in a different place now. Because that's what we poly folks do. We allow people to change, and sometimes we know how to hold space and then try it when we are aligned. So everything's aligned right now, and everything's great. It's cool. She's very lovely, quite, and I'm interested to see where it goes. So that's cool. So that's about it for now. For life, still clean. My date has not changed. I'm doing well. On that note, but we'll see. Like, I was having a discussion with her because I have these walls up about relationships because I don't want to hurt anyone, and so it's like I don't want to really start anything serious with anyone until I know I'm in recovery. And I don't think I'm going to know I'm in recovery until I get a job again and start getting paychecks again and a lot of money coming in again. Once that happens, then I'll know that I'm focused and I'm putting recovery first. But, we have some real discussions as to, me always putting recovery first and what I'm doing to keep that, first and foremost in my life. So I'm excited about that. And as if you heard, I got new music for the show. So I'll be posting where I got that from. I think it's called Vlog, No Copyright. So basically they hit me up on Instagram, and they basically have like this library of music that you can use copyright free. All you have to do is give credit in your show notes. You can use it for, videos, podcasts, anything like that. And as long as you give them and they got beats for hip hop, which I like. So as long as you give them credit, you can use the music. So it's vlog. Yeah, vlog music, no copyright. I think it's there, and then I think they have a link from YouTube, and I think they have a link to a SoundCloud, and you can download music from there. So that's a cool tool, a cool resource to use for podcasting. And I don't know, we'll see how that goes. So I like the music though. So anyway, I'm gonna wrap it up now. Next week, this was episode 29. Next week is gonna be a recap show. So it won't be one more. Well, two more shows about swinging. After that, we're gonna do swinging dates or dating, something like that. And then we're gonna go. Then I'm gonna talk about my exits from swinging. I'm talking about the spiritual hole that was left in my soul after all that swinging. And what I learned about myself from all that swinging too. I learned a lot. I like group sex, but I don't like swinging. Interesting. I like, well, as long as I know everybody, I'm cool. Like I said, I'm demisexual. So anyway, we're gonna wrap it up there. Thanks for listening. As always, you can get the podcast on Stitcher, iTunes. Follow me on Instagram, C Pierce Jr. or C Pierce Jr. or the Melancholy Guy. Search for the Melancholy Guy on Facebook. You'll find the page. First, Melancholy Guy on Twitter, Melancholy Guy on Instagram. You'll find me. I have a link to Linktree on all the resources. I'll show you what the show's posted. Like I said, Stitcher, iTunes. Please subscribe, rate, and review. The videos posted up on YouTube, the Melancholy Guy. So you can find me and follow me if you like, or not. I just do this show. Like I said, it's a test podcast. So guess what? I've been almost to the show. So I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. Happy Mother's Day. I'm doing this show on Mother's Day. I actually went to church today. My mother actually spoke at church. She delivered the Mother's Day message, which was kind of cool. I'm not a Christian. I don't go to church. So actually, this was my church. I used to go to this church. So it was kind of cool to go back and see everyone on Mother's Day. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. You guys are great. I love you. I love my mom. And so with that, always remember to love and respect yourself first, and everything else will take care of itself. Peace and namaste.